Hello friends, good morning to all. Welcome to Affairs Cloud Learn to Lead. This is Ashu and today we will discuss very important current affairs of 26th of August 2021. You can see two best images of the day, but today we will discuss very important and the most important current affairs. So watch this video till last, but I am requesting you all the students that you can download our application. Application downloading link is given in the description box and the name of the application is Careers Cloud. After that, you can log in with the email ID and after login, you can click on this crack current affairs section to subscribe our current affairs for 1 year as well as for 2 years. Both the subscription prices are very much low. If you see the price, you will definitely surprise. But the most important thing that we are covering 90 to 95% of that current affairs which can come in your exam. This is the genuinity, this is the hard work of Affairs Cloud team. But how we are covering this current affair? We are providing you daily section. In the daily, you will receive three things. One is the detailed current affair, question and answer format, and third is the quiz section which you can attempt on replication on daily basis. Next is the weekly section. Again, you will receive three things. One is the detailed current affair, second is the question and answer format, and third is the quiz section which you can attempt on a replication on weekly basis. Next is the monthly, and we are providing you four type of PDFs. One is the detailed current affair, question and answer format of PDF. Next is the best 100 current affair, that is also provided in the form of question and answer, and the pocket PDF. It means the 2-liner and the 3-liners current affair will be provided to you so that you can revise the current affair in quick format. But to enhance your performance further, we are also providing topic wise current affair. We are providing 20 most important topics which are very important for every type of exam. It means if you want to cover one topic related all the news just from single PDF, then you can use this topic wise PDF section. And if you're a banking student, then we are providing three things. One is the detail, second is the question and answer format of current affairs only related to banking and economy, and third is the quiz section which you can attempt on our application on monthly basis, that is also only related to banking and economy. And guys, if you want to cover all the past current affair of 2021, then you can use this exam PDF. And we are also providing budget and economic survey. Detail will be provided, but expected question and answer will also be provided so that you can recall that examiner can make these type of questions from budget and economic survey. And if you are preparing for your respective state exam, then we are providing state current affair also, and we are covering every state and union territory. So all these things comes under one subscription. We are not providing different things under different subscriptions. So you have to just download our application from the description box link, log in with the email ID, and then click on this crack current affair section to subscribe our current affairs for 1 year as well as for 2 years. Both the subscription prices are very much low, but if you're a new student, you are just starting your preparation and starting your current affair section, then I am advising to buy or subscribe this 2-year subscription. The price difference between the 1-year subscription and 2-year subscription is very much low, so it is very beneficial if you subscribe for the 2-year subscription. And we are providing 10% extra discount on that minimal cost if you use this code ASH10. If you have any query, you can email us on this email ID or you can call us on this number. So let's start today's session, that is 26th of August 2021. But I am requesting you all the students that you have to like this video, you have to share this video as maximum as possible, and you have to subscribe this channel if you are new on this platform. And by providing these three things, you can motivate me. And join our Telegram channel for the official notifications from the description box link. So let's start today's section with the most important question section. And here is the first question: who won Sahitya Academy Award 2020 for Odia language? So I am only talking about Odia language, and the most important keyword, it is the Sahitya Academy Award for 2020 and particular language Odia. We will also cover one question, Sahitya Academy Award 2020 for the Malayalam language. But first of all, we are covering the Odia language. Then answer of this question is Jashodhara Mishra. Answer is B. So remember, for Odia language, it is Jashodhara Mishra. And you can also see here who won the Sahitya Academy Award for 2020 for Malayalam language. So again, both the questions are most important, Odia and Malayalam. And for Malayalam, it is Om Cherry NN Pillai. So it is not only NN Pillai. Don't confuse with this name, NN Pillai. It is Om Cherry NN Pillai. So both are different persons. So you have to remember, for Malayalam, it is Om Cherry NN Pillai. You have to remember MNN. Malayalam Nen N Pillai. So Om Cherry NN Pillai. Now, you can see here both the pictures. Sahitya Academy announced 2020 Odia and Malayalam awards, and for the Malayalam it is NN Pillai, and for the Odia it is Jashodhara Mishra, and both won this 2020 award related to Sahitya Academy. And Jashodhara Mishra has been awarded for her book title Samundar Kul Gara. So you can remember the Sahitya Academy awards, prestigious awards, and these awards are basically provided in the literary works in 24 languages, including English. And the Sahitya Academy Award 2020 was announced in March 2021 already. In the 20 languages, this award already given, but four languages were left. One was the Odia, second was Rajasthani, next is Malayalam, and fourth one is Nepali. So Odia and Malayalam now covered, and the awards for Rajasthani and Nepali are yet to be announced. So we can wait for the Rajasthani and Nepali, but you have to remember for the Odia it is Jashodhara Mishra, who has been awarded for her book titled Samundra Kula Gara, and Omchari N.N. Pillai has been awarded for his memoir titled Aksmikam Om Cheriote Orkar Yupukal. So my pronunciation can be wrong, but you can remember the name is Akasmikam Om Cheriote or Mukur Pukali or Mukar Pukal. So you can just remember this word Aksmikam. So you can remember this. So Sahitya Academy Award 2020 already announced in March 2021, but it was announced for the 20 Indian languages except Odia, Rajasthani, Malayalam and the Nepali. So remember these words, these are very, very important, which I told you, but you can also remember the other options like Dr. Tahira Kutubuddin. Dr. Tahira Kutubuddin was the first Indian, remember, first Indian who won 15th Sheikh Zayed Book Award. Sheikh Zayed Book Award. So you can remember Zari Wind and Nitin Rakesh both won International Business Book Award. International Business Book Award of the Year for 2021. So you can remember these two awards. And here is Valeria Luiselli, very important name because she won International Dublin Literary Prize. International Dublin Literary Prize for 2021 for her very famous novel, The Lost Children Archive. Next, N.N. Pillai, again very famous personality. He recently won Bahrain, Kerala, or you can say Kerala Samajam Award. Bahrain Kerala Samajan Literary Award for 2021. Next is Kaushik Basu, very famous economist, and he recently won Humboldt Research Award in Economics. I am again repeating, Humboldt Research Award in Economics. So remember these awards which was won by recently different persons. These are very, very important, but the most important for Malayalam and Odia. So we are moving to next question. Which company has become the first Indian renewable energy company to get listed on the Nasdaq, which is an American stock exchange based in the New York? So this company is Renew Power. Answer of this question is A. So Renew Power, India's largest renewable energy company, has become the first Indian renewable energy company to get listed on the Nasdaq, an American stock exchange based in the New York, United States of America. So you can also see here the logo of Renew Power becomes first Indian renewable company, and it was listed under the Nasdaq. And why it was listed under the Nasdaq? Because recently a merger took place, and this merger was between Renew Power and RMG Acquisition Corporation 2, which is registered under the Nasdaq, which was already registered under, or you can say listed under the Nasdaq. So you can say the merger company has now been renamed as Renew Energy Global Private Limited. And Renew Power has signed a power purchase agreement recently with the Solar Energy Corporation of India for round-the-clock electricity supply. And Renew Power signed this agreement, and it became the India's first round-the-clock electricity supply company. So you have to remember, round-the-clock first renewable energy project was signed between the Renew Power and the Solar Energy Corporation of India. This is again very, very important. But you have to remember, Renew Power recently acquired one company which is known as RMG Acquisition Corporation 2. It means as a result of the business combination, RMG2 has become a fully owned subsidiary of the Renew Power. That's why it was listed under the Nasdaq. So you have to remember, the most important company here is the Renew Power, and it is the India's largest renewable energy company. And its chairman and managing director is Sumant Sinha. Sumant Sinha, headquarters is in Gurugram. So remember this thing. Moving to next question. Which city from India was ranked in the Safe City Index 2021? Safe City Index of 2021. This is the keyword for you. And total cities were ranked 60. and out of 62 Indian cities were included under this list. One is the New Delhi, second is the Mumbai, and New Delhi rank is you can say 48th rank out of 60 cities, and Mumbai's rank is 50th out of 60. So the capital city New Delhi and the financial capital city of India, that is Mumbai, respectively have found place in the fourth place, fourth Safe Cities Index 2021. It is the fourth Safe City Index 2021. So answer of this question is both A and C. So you can see here India's New Delhi ranked 48 out of 60 in the Safe Cities Index 2021. And the index report full name is Safe City Index 2021 New Expectations Demanding New Coherence. And this report is released by a very famous organization which is Economist Intelligence Unit, and its headquarters is in London, United Kingdom. And New Delhi was placed on the 48th position, and the Dream City Mumbai was placed on the 50th position. And the index has been topped by the Denmark's capital Copenhagen. So you have to remember the first rank goes to Copenhagen, which is the capital of Denmark. And the cities are ranked based on 76 indicators of the safety across 5 broad pillars, like you can say digital security is there, health security is there, infrastructure security, personal security, and environmental security. Environmental security was first time added. So you can remember digital security, health security, infrastructure security, personal security, and environment security. On these 5 broad pillars, these cities, these 60 cities were ranked, and Myanmar, Yangon is the bottom of this index. So remember the bottom, it means the 60th number goes to Yangon, belongs to Myanmar, and 48th is New Delhi, and 50th is Mumbai. So you have to remember these things. This is very, very important. And you can also remember about Safe City Index of 2021. It was initially launched, first time launched in 2015, and it is a biennial report. Biennial stands for happened once in 2 years. And this report is published by EIU, or Economist Intelligence Unit, and it is a benchmarking tool to measure global urban safety. And its headquarters is EIU headquarters is in London. So remember, New Delhi rank, Mumbai rank, top country Denmark, but we are not talking about the countries, we are talking about cities. Then the capital of Denmark is Copenhagen, and the bottom is Yangon, which is capital of Myanmar. Moving to, not capital, basically a big city of Myanmar. Moving to next question. So all the most important questions we covered. Now we are moving to very important question section. You have to like this video, share this video as maximum as possible, and please subscribe this channel if you are new on this platform. And you can join our Telegram group from the description box link. Here is the question. What is the name of counter-terrorism exercise which was conducted by National Security Guard recently? Again, it is very important because this exercise is conducted by a very important organization which is National Security Guard, and name of this exercise is Gandhi. So you have to remember, answer is D. The third edition, this is the third edition of this annual counter-terrorism exercise which is named as Gandhi, and it is being conducted by National Security Guard across you can say some areas like North Capital Region, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, and Gujarat. So under these cities or under these states, this exercise took place. And you can see here National Security Guard commandos undertake counter-terrorism drill across country which is named as Gandhi. And Gandhi is the name of Arjun's bow in Mahabharata. I think many students know. If you are a student of history, then you are definitely aware of this thing. Arjun's bow in Mahabharata is known as Gandhi. And the exercise is conducted between the 22nd of August to 28th of August 2021. It means this exercise will end on the 28th of August. And the exercise will strengthen the counter-terror skills of the state administration, definitely, because 3 states are basically participating under this, like Uttar Pradesh is there, Madhya Pradesh is there, Gujarat is there, and one national capital region is also there. Anti-terrorist squad and create awareness among the public. So its main objective, or you can say its main aim, to validate the planning parameters of the National Security Guard in the event of terrorist attack, hijack of an aircraft, or an hostage situation. So this is National Security Guard's exercise. And remember about National Security Guard. This body was established in 1986. It is an elite counter-terrorism unit functioning under the Ministry of Home Affairs. Ministry of Home Affairs, it means I am talking about Amit Shah ji. Headquarters is in New Delhi, and who is the Director General of National Security Guard? Director General is M.A. Ganpati. M.A. Ganpati. So you can remember the name. Next, these exercises are very, very important. Like you can see here, Yudh Abhyas. Yudh Abhyas is in between India and United States of America. and this exercise was recently undertook in the Rajasthan area, especially the Bikaner area of the Rajasthan. Next, Tropics 21. This exercise was in between the three units of Indian Defence. One is the Navy, you can say, second is Army, Coast Guard, you can include Coast Guard, and also the Air Force. So all these units participated under the Tropics exercise, and this was held in Indian Ocean. Next is MFEX 21. This was also between the three units of Indian Defence. One is the Army, Navy, and the Indian Air Force. But this exercise undertook in the Andaman and Nicobar group of islands. So you can remember these exercise. These exercise was held recently. Moving to next question. Which state and Bangladesh Power Development Board has renewed trade agreement recently for the export of power? It means one state from India is distributing the power to Bangladesh, and they signed a agreement with the Bangladesh Power Development Board. And this state is Tripura, because Tripura is sharing boundary with the Bangladesh. So you can see here, Tripura State Electricity Corporation Limited renews agreement with the Bangladesh government for power export. Very important. And it was originally signed in 2016, but it was signed for the time period of 5 years, and it is to supply 160 megawatt power to the Bangladesh Power Development Board. And it was 5-year agreement, and it was expired in March 2021, but now after negotiation, it again renewed. And you have to remember the trade agreement between the Indo-Bangladesh signed by Tripura State Electricity Corporation Limited, and from the Bangladesh, it is Bangladesh Power Distribution Board, and it was renewed recently for export of power. And you can also remember one very important thing about Tripura, this thing, like TSECL, which is Tripura State Electricity Corporation Limited, benefited from this agreement 45 crore annually from this agreement, which is competitively better than the domestic charges. So 45 crore income from this pact. This is to the state government of Tripura. And you can also see here, this is Bangladesh. Bangladesh shares boundary with how many states of India? So it is, you can see here, Assam is there, Meghalaya is also there, Tripura is also there, 3 states, 4th is the West Bengal state. So you have to remember, one is Assam, second is Meghalaya, third is Tripura, and fourth, fifth one is Mizoram is also there. And you can see 5 states shares boundary with Bangladesh. So I am repeating, Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, Mizoram, and one is West Bengal. So these states shares boundary with Bangladesh. And remember about Tripura, guys. Tripura is important for you. Tripura's chief minister is Biplab Kumar Dev. And governor is Satya Dev Narayan Arya. You have to remember, Satya Dev Narayan Arya. He was earlier the governor of Haryana, but now he is currently the governor of Tripura. Remember, he was recently appointed. And very important national parks are there. One is Clouded Leopard National Park, Bison National Park is there, Trishna Wildlife Sanctuary is there, Gomti Wildlife Sanctuary is also there. So Clouded Leopard, Bison, Trishna is Wildlife Sanctuary, and Gomti Wildlife Sanctuary. So these are important things about Tripura. Moving to next question. Government of India has launched which program to support 300 information technological enabled startups? So it means it is just to increase the startups, especially in the information technology area. And Government of India launched this type of the system to support 300 startups. And this is Samriddh program, which was started by Government of India. So this program was launched as the startup accelerator of the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology for product innovation, development and growth, which is known as Samriddh. So you can see here, government launched schemes to support 300 startups for creating 100 unicorns. What is the meaning of this unicorn? Guys, remember, unicorn is a term to describe each startup that are valued at more than 1 billion USD. Then it is known as unicorn. So it aims to create 100 unicorns out of the selected IT or the information technological startup by providing seed funding, mentorship and market access. It means support will be provided, financial stability also provided, and guidance will also provided through the mentorship. And the program has been modeled on the basis of Y Combiner or the Y Combinator. Remember, Y Combinator. So this Samriddh program is same as Y Combinator, which was started by the United States of America, and this was also the Startup Accelerator program, which was started by United States of America. So on the lines of Y Combinator, we started Samriddh program. So it is same. And Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology will provide seed funds or the financial assistance up to 40 lakh rupees and mentorship for 6 months for the selected startups, because there is a need of mentoring startups, because it is the most important measure to convert their ideas into the products. So that's why startups need funding, startup need mentorship, startup need market accessibility, and the most important is financial assistance. So if we are providing these things, then their ideas can be converted into products. So this is very good thing which is started by the government. So remember, Samriddh program, Samriddh stands for Startup Accelerator of Ministry of Electronics and Information and Technology for product innovation, development and growth. And remember about Ministry of Electronics, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Union Minister is Ashwini Vaishnav, most important minister, Ashwini Vaishnav, and he is currently the member of Rajya Sabha from Odisha. Moving to next question. Which company has made and delivered world first fossil free steel? Again, very good information you can get from this news. Which company has made and delivered world's first fossil free steel? It means this company is not using the traditional method, like coking coal is not used to make the steel. So answer of this company is Hybrid. So remember the name of the company, and this company belongs to which country? This company belongs to Sweden. So you can see here, world first fossil free steel manufactured in Sweden, and the steel is produced with 100% fossil free hydrogen. So this is made by this company, but it is made through 100% fossil free hydrogen. Its full commercial production will begin in 2026, but its smaller scale production will start in 2022. And this technology aims to replace coking coal with fossil-free electricity and hydrogen, because traditionally coking coal or coking coal is required for ore-based steel making. And Sweden Green Steel Venture Hybrid had made the world first customer delivery of steel produced without using coal and coke to its truck manufacturer company Volvo. So I think you know the name Volvo, and they delivered this steel to the Volvo company, which is a truck manufacturer company. And remember, hydrogen is a key part of the European Union. Hydrogen is a key part of the European Union plan to reach net zero greenhouse gas emission by the year of 2050. All the countries are now targeting that we have to achieve the net zero carbon emission by the year of 2050, and this is also the target of European Union. So you have to remember about Sweden. Sweden capital is Stockholm, and currency is Swedish krona. Moving to next question. Who won second Terrace the Tras os Montes Chess Open 2021? Name can be difficult, but you have to just remember because it is a unique, so I think you can remember very easily. Terrace the Tras os Montes Chess Open 2021, and this was won by Indian player Arjun Regassi. So you have to remember the name. Answer is B. So you can see here, Indian Grandmaster Arjun Regassi won the second Terrace the Tras os Montes Chess Openship, which was held in Portugal. So you have to remember, this tournament was hosted by which country? This tournament was hosted by Portugal, and this is very, very important. And even Arjun remained unbeaten throughout the tournament by winning 8 games and 1 draw. Out of 9 matches, 8 games he won and 1 was draw. And Arjun belongs to which state? Arjun belongs to Telangana, and he is the 54th Grandmaster of India. Grandmaster of India. And till date, India has 69 Grandmaster, and 69th or the recent Grandmaster is Harshit Raja. So you have to remember, 69th Grandmaster, we already covered this question, it was Harshit Raja, and he was the 54th Grandmaster of India. And a total of 5 Indians participated in this tournament, which was held in Portugal. So remember one important organization, which is All India Chess Federation. It was established in 1951. Its headquarters is in New Delhi, and who is the president of this organization? Sanjay Kapoor. Sanjay Kapoor. So you have to remember the name. Now we are moving to next question. Who is recently appointed as the brand ambassador of Samsung India? So the keyword here is the Samsung India, and you have to remember, Bollywood actress Alia Bhatt become the brand ambassador of Samsung India. Especially you can say for endorsement of the Galaxy Z series of the foldable smartphones of the Samsung India. So Samsung India robs in Alia Bhatt as the brand ambassador of its foldable smartphone portfolio. And you can see here, as a brand ambassador of the Samsung India, Alia Bhatt will drive the adoption of the Galaxy Z series among young generation Z and millennial customers. And you can also remember Samsung India is set to launch its Galaxy Z series on the 10th of September. It is scheduled to be launched on 10th of September. And you can also remember Sunpure appoints Sonu Sood as the brand ambassador. Sunpure, basically an edible cooking oil brand based in Karnataka, was appointed actor Sonu Sood as its brand ambassador. And as a part of the association with Sunpure, Sonu Sood will also lead various brand campaigns related to Sunpure. And you can also remember about this Samsung company. Samsung is South Korean company and its headquarters is in Seoul, South Korea. But you can remember other brand ambassador, like you can see here Jasprit Bumrah. He was recently appointed as brand ambassador of OnePlus wearables. OnePlus, very famous company of the mobile phone, and he was recently appointed for OnePlus wearables like OnePlus Watch, OnePlus Band. Next, Yuvraj Singh, he was recently appointed a brand ambassador of Puma Motorsport. Puma Motorsport. Next, Akshay Kumar, he was recently appointed as brand ambassador of biotechnological firm which is known as MyLab. MyLab. MyLab recently inaugurated one, or you can say launched one self-test kit of Corona, COVID-19. So it is MyLab Discovery Solution. It is Akshay Kumar. Move to next question. Frio. Frio is basically India's first credit-led neobank, made a partnership with which small finance bank to launch a saving account. So this is again very important. The name of this saving account is Frio Save. Frio Save. So this is the saving account name, and this small finance bank is Equitas Small Finance Bank. So answer of this question is C. So you can see here Neobank Frio launched saving account and it is offering 7% interest rate, and it is zero balance saving account. Zero balance saving account, and name of this account is Frio Save. You can remember this account. And the account will offer 7% interest rate on a minimum balance of 1 lakh rupees, and the account will also provide seamless integration with the UPI or unified payment interface to make easier fund transfer with the bill payments. It would also help the customers to build a better credit score. And till date, Frio has disbursed loans for more than 4400 crore to its users under its Money Tap service, because earlier this neobank, this Frio, was known as Money Tap. And remember about Neobank. Neobank is a kind of digital bank without any branches, and it works entirely online instead of being present physically at a specific location. And you can also remember about Frio if you want, otherwise it is not important. The Frio parent company started its operation in India with the launch of Money Tap in 2016. But after that it was changed with the name of Frio. Headquarters is in Bengaluru, Karnataka. But the most important is Equitas Small Finance Bank here. Its headquarters in Chennai. Headquarters is very important, Tamil Nadu. MD and CEO is Vasudevan. Vasudevan. And tagline is it's fun banking. It's fun banking. Moving to next question. Which company has launched a new credit program to assist Karyana and the retailer or the small retailers in the managing their working capital requirements? If any Karyana store or any retailer wants some assistance in terms of financial assistance, then this company will help, or this company will provide some credit to this Karyana or the retailer. And this company is Flipkart. So answer of this question is D. So Flipkart Wholesale, which is a digital business to business marketplace of the Flipkart group, has launched a new credit program to assist Karyana and the retailers in managing their working capital requirement and promote their business. So remember, the name of the company is Flipkart, which will provide new credits to the Karyana and the retailers. And the credit offering of the Flipkart Wholesale, including the Easy Credit in partnership with the IDFC First Bank. It means the customer belongs to Flipkart, but the credit will be provided by IDFC First Bank. And it can help Karyanas to get credit at zero cost through digital onboarding, and this onboarding can be done through the Flipkart application. And they can get the credit with a range of 5,000 rupees to 2 lakh rupees with an interest-free period of up to 14 days. It means if they can return the money within 14 days, then no interest will be charged. So this new credit program has been designed to solve the local challenges faced by the Karyanas in India, and it to help them manage their cash flow and improve their purchase experience on the Flipkart Wholesale. If they want to purchase some wholesale things from the Flipkart, then they can pay later within 14 days and no interest will be charged. And they can take this money from the IDFC First Bank, because IDFC First Bank is the official partner of this Flipkart Wholesale. And it will ensure the benefits of the digitization reach through the entire business to business retail ecosystem. And the Kriana will also be able to avail flexible repayment option through the cash and the online transfer, because UPI is also provided under this platform. So remember, it is Flipkart, and Flipkart CEO is Kalyan Krishnamurthy. Kalyan Krishnamurthy, headquarters in Bengaluru. Moving to next question. Which company recently launched artificial intelligence enabled chatbot Urja? Again, this is just a one-liner question. You can just remember as same as in slide, and answer of this question is Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited. So this is very important because government is selling all the stake under BPCL. So BPCL will now become private. And Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited launched this virtual assistant named Urja, and it is artificial intelligence powered, or you can say the natural language processing technology, and it is trained on more than 600 use cases, and it will cater to the BPCL or Bharat Petroleum Corporation Limited objective of making customer interface comprehensive and digitally integrated, as it can solve queries both business to business and business to customers. And Urja speaks how many languages? Urja speaks 13 languages, English to Assamese. All the languages will be spoken by Urja. And headquarters in Mumbai. This BPCL headquarters is in Mumbai. Founded in 1952. Its managing director and chairman is Shri K. Padamkar. Padamkar or Padamkar. You can remember just the name. Moving to next question. Which state has signed a MOU with 37 microfinance lenders for joint implementation of 2021 relief scheme? So this scheme was recently started by the Assam government, and the answer of this question is D. And this government has signed a MOU with the 37 microfinance lenders for joint implementation of this scheme. So, what is this scheme? You have to just remember two things. It is a joint implementation of Assam Microfinance Incentive under the Relief Scheme, 2021 Relief Scheme, and it was launched in Guwahati, Assam. So, the main objective of this scheme is to provide financial relief to more than 20 lakh poor women, borrowers of the state who are not able to return the loan amount of the microfinance institution. Earlier, they borrowed the money from the microfinance institution, but they are not able to return due to COVID-19. Now, the state government will provide some financial assistance to these women borrowers so that they can return the money to the financial institution. So, under this scheme, the microfinance borrowers will be provided with a one-time incentive of rupees 25,000 or equal to the outstanding balance, whichever is lower. And this Assam Microfinance Incentive and Relief Scheme 2021 involves a credit portfolio of rupees 12,000 crore, out of which the state government planned to spend 7,200 crore rupees. And the scheme was firstly introduced in June 2021 to provide financial relief from the state government to make the overdue payment for the regular repaying microfinance borrowers who are now overdue due to COVID-19. And the state has around 14 lakh microfinance borrowers up to June 2021. So they are providing this benefit to the 20 lakh women borrowers. So you have to remember, we are talking about Assam. Assam Chief Minister is Himant Biswa Sharma, and you can also remember Governor is Jagdish Mukhi. And very important national parks are there, like Dahing Patkai National Park, recently added in the national park list in the Assam. This is the 7th national park of Assam. Raimona National Park, was recently added as the 6th national park. And remember, Kaziranga is also there. Manas is also there. Dibru-Saikhowa, one of the biosphere reserve of India, very important, Dibru-Saikhowa biosphere reserve. And Nameri is also there. Nameri. And one is Orang National Park is also there. So these 7 are in Assam. Moving to next question. Which country successfully test fires Fateh-1 or the Fateh-1 guided multi-launch rocket system? And this country is, guys, Pakistan. So you have to remember the name of the country is Pakistan. So remember this. You can also see this multi-rocket launch system. This is tested by Pakistan. This is the second test because the first test was conducted in the January 2021. And you can also see here it is indigenously developed by Pakistan, and it is known as guided multi-launch rocket system. And it is capable of carrying conventional warheads and has a range of 140 kilometer. And it has the capability of precision target against any engagement deep into the enemy territory. And the guided multi-launch rocket system is capable of hitting targets without leaving behind the unexploded ordnance. This is very important. And Fateh-1 is a variant of the guided you can say multi-launch rocket system which has an extended range up to 150 kilometer, up to 150 kilometer. And this launch marked the second flight of Fateh 1 because its first launch was in January 2021. But you have to remember other Pakistani missiles. These are again very, very important. Like we recently covered Ghaznavi. Ghaznavi we recently covered, and it is a nuclear capable surface to surface missile, ballistic missile up to the range of 290 kilometer. Next is Babar is there. Babar is a short range again surface to surface missile, and its range is 450 kilometer. Next is Shaheen. We again covered this question recently. Shaheen 3 was recently tested, and it is again nuclear capable surface to surface ballistic missile which can target up to 2750 kilometer. So Ghaznavi 290 kilometer, Babar 450 kilometer, Shaheen 2750, but all are surface to surface missiles. So remember this is Pakistan. Moving to next question. It is from picture. RBI approved Sandeep Bakshi reappointment as the ICICI Bank CEO. So, Reserve Bank of India has recently reappointed Sandeep Bakshi as the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of ICICI Bank with effect from the 15th of October. 15th of October 2021 to 3rd of October 2023. It means the time period is extended for 2 years. And he was appointed as MD and CEO of the ICICI Bank in 2018 following the resignation of the Chanda Kochhar, which was the MD and CEO of this ICICI Bank in 2018. And remember about ICICI Bank, MD and CEO is Sandeep Bakshi, headquarters is in Mumbai, and it was incorporated in 1994. Tagline is Hum Hai Na Khayal Aapka. Moving to next question. Former Indian footballer O. Chandrasekharan passed away. So you have to just remember O. Chandrasekharan, an Olympian and excellent defender in Indian football team, passed away at the age of 86. He belongs to which state? He belongs to Kerala. He was born in Kerala. He was died in Kerala. And he was a member of the Rome Olympics, which was held in 1960, Indian football team. And under his captaincy, Indian football team won gold medal in the Jakarta Asian Games in 1962. 1962 Jakarta Asian Games. This team won the gold medal under his captaincy. And he was a member of the Indian football team that won the silver in the Malaysia in 1959 and 1964 Merdeka Cup, which held in Malaysia. And he also led the Maharashtra team to the Santosh Trophy title. Santosh Trophy is again very prestigious interstate tournament in India, and he led the Maharashtra team in the Santosh Trophy. Examiner can ask that Santosh Trophy belongs to which game? Football. And remember, Merdeka Cup, MERDEK, Merdeka Cup is also belongs to football. So remember these things, and remember O. Chandrasekharan, footballer, and the state is Kerala. Moving to next, it is our important question section. You have to like this video, you have to share this video as maximum as possible, and you have to subscribe this channel. You have to join our Telegram group from the description box link. Here is the question. Punjab government has chosen which insurance company to cover Ayushman Bharat Sarbat Sehat Bima Yojana, which is a state government scheme of the Punjab. So the insurance company which was selected, this was SBI General Insurance Company. So it is only a state's perspective question. You have to just remember only the name of the company if you are a student of Punjab. Otherwise, you can skip this question. And SBI General Insurance, Ayushman Bharat Sarbat Sehat Bima Yojana, it is as equivalent to Ayushman Bharat Prime Minister Jan Arogya Yojana. It is same, but in the state it is known as Sarbat Sehat Bima Yojana, and it was launched in the state of Punjab. So you have to remember the Punjab government has selected SBI General Insurance to expand the health insurance coverage in the state under the Ayushman Bharat Sarbat Sehat Bima Yojana. And SBI General Insurance will collaborate with the state government and provide the cashless health insurance cover of how much? 5 lakh rupees under this scheme to 40 lakh eligible families in the Punjab, particularly to less privileged section. And it was entitled Based Health Insurance Scheme of the Punjab State, and it was launched in the Punjab State in 2019 to offer cashless health insurance of 5 lakh rupees per family per year. And this scheme intends to provide financial protection of 65% of the population of the state of Punjab. And under the scheme, beneficiary families could avail health services at impaneled private and the government hospital. All things are same as Jan Arogya Yojana, but you have to remember in Punjab it is known as Sarbat Sehat Bima Yojana. 5 lakh rupees per family per year will be provided, and SBI General Insurance will provide this. And remember about Punjab. Punjab Chief Minister is Captain Amrinder Singh, election due in 2022, and Governor is VP Singh Badnoor, Vijender Pal Singh Badnoor. Moving to next question. It is our one-liner important section, and here is the first question. 1.59% shares of Canara Bank picked by one person. It is Rakesh Jhunjhunwala. Very important personality in the stock market. You have to remember, because Rakesh Jhunjhunwala has picked 1.59% of the shares, and it was bought through the qualified institution placement in the Canara Bank, which was around 407 crore worth rupees. And with this, Jhunjhunwala has become one of the top investor in the bank. And Jhunjhunwala has also owned three three banks on shares of the three banks. One is the Federal Bank, uh, Karur Vyasya Bank, and third one is the Canara Bank now. 1.59%. It is a huge thing. Like he invested 407 crore rupees. And Jhunjhunwala is also known as the Warren Buffett of India. Remember, Warren Buffett of India. And remember about Canara Bank. Canara Bank headquarters is in Bengaluru, and tagline is Together We Can. Together We Can. It was established in 1906, and its MD and CEO is LV Prabhakar. LV Prabhakar. And recently in 2020, Syndicate Bank was merged under the Canara Bank in April 2020. Next, Indian Army received first batch of MMHG from EEL. This is again important question. You can remember this slide here. Indian Army gets first batch of the multi-mode hand grenades made by the private sector firm. And this private sector firm is EEL, Economic Explosive Limited. So this Indian Army received this first batch of multi-mode hand grenade from this firm, private firm. This is Economic Explosive Limited. Because in 2020, in October 2020, Ministry of Defence has signed a contract with this Economic Explosive Limited, or EEL, to supply 10 lakh multi-mode hand grenade to Indian Army at a cost of 409 crore. And this hand grenade has a distinctive design, and the grenades can used in both offensive and defensive mode. It has highly accurate delay time, very high reliability in the uses, and safe for carriage. Next, RBI impaneled South Indian Bank as the agency bank. Not so much important because the Reserve Bank of India impaneled so many banks recently, but now it is South Indian Bank, the Kerala-based private sector bank, Kerala-based South Sector Bank, or the South Indian Bank. And you can remember it was impaneled as the agency bank to facilitate transactions related to center and the state government on behalf of the RBI. Because in February 2021, RBI removed the ban imposed over appointing the scheduled private sector bank as the agency banks of the RBI. So it revised the guidelines and authorized scheduled private sector bank as the agency banks of the RBI for conducting government business, even as a center as the state government. Next, National Security Advisor Ajit Doval chairs 11th BRICS High Representative responsible for the national security meeting. And Ajit Doval, who is currently the Indian National Security Advisor, represented India in the BRICS. And this meeting is related to national security, so that's why attended by the National Security Advisor of every country. And this is the 15th anniversary of the BRICS as well. And the adoption for an action plan for countering terrorism and terror financing was taken into the consideration. And the main focus was on the development process of the Afghanistan, Iran, West Asia, and especially the Gulf countries. And you can also remember this year we are celebrating the 15th anniversary of BRICS, and chairmanship of 15th anniversary lies with India. That's why the theme is BRICS at the rate 15. But you can remember BRIC term is basically coined by one very famous economist, which was known as Jim O'Neill. Jim O'Neill. This BRIC term is coined by this person. But after that, South Africa joined and it becomes BRICS, and South Africa joined in 2010. And where is the headquarter of BRICS? In Shanghai, China, and it formed in 2006. Now we are moving to next point. It is Indian ASEAN think tank prepares for the 30th anniversary celebration, because India is now celebrating 30th anniversary with the association of the ASEAN, and ASEAN stand for Association of Southeast Asian Nations, and it is the relationship with India, and it also designated as the ASEAN India Friendship Year, because India become sectoral partner of ASEAN in 1992. So 30 years from if you are going back, then India started journey with ASEAN. So 2022 year will mark as the 30th anniversary of the relationship between India and the ASEAN. So the program aims to strengthen the people to people and the institutional linkage between the India and ASEAN. And guys, one important thing under this question, that earlier Thailand was the dialogue partner or the coordinator partner of India and ASEAN. But now Singapore is appointed. Singapore is appointed as the dialogue partner for India and ASEAN relations from August 2021 until 2024. Remember, Singapore is now the dialogue partner for India and ASEAN. Next, you can also remember about ASEAN. ASEAN current chairmanship lies with Brunei. It was established in 1967. Headquarters is in Jakarta, Indonesia, and Secretary General is H.E. Dato Lim. H.E. Dato Lim. Next, Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan inaugurates Center for Research and Innovation in Artificial Intelligence at IIT Hyderabad. This is not important. This was launched in collaboration with the Japan International Cooperation Agency and Honeywell Technology Solution. Just remember, Artificial Intelligence Innovation Center in IIT Hyderabad. It is launched by Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan. Just a simple news. Moving to next, and it is our question of the day. What was the question of 25th of August 2021? Which organization releases annual status of education report annually? So this is again very important because this annual state of education report survey has been released to provide a glimpse into the levels of the learning loss that students in the rural India are suffering and varying levels the access to technology, school and the family resources resulting in a digital divide in education. So it is a nationwide survey. It is a nationwide survey of the rural education and learning outcome in terms of reading and arithmetic skill that has been conducted by the NGO Pratham. So answer of this question is C, Pratham NGO, and they are conducting this survey from the last 15 years. And it uses, this organization uses 2011 census as the sampling frame and continues to be an important national source of information about children's foundation skill across the country. And this year, like in 2020, in wake of pandemic, the survey was conducted via phone calls. So this is the first survey which is conducted through phone calls, and they are reaching almost 52,000 rural households with school-aged children in the 30 states and the Union Territory. So remember, it is the Pratham NGO. Moving to next question, it is the question of the day, and question is very simple. Micro irrigation fund, which has seen in recently news, is created with which organization? So which organization was created this micro irrigation fund? You have to tell me only in the comment box. I am waiting your answer. So guys, like this video, share this video, and subscribe this channel if you're new on this platform, and press this bell button. And also you can join our Telegram group for the future notifications. And by providing these three things like, share, and subscribe, you are motivating me. And it is Affairs Cloud promise that it will boost your confidence in the general awareness section. Definitely don't take life so much serious. Life is fun. Always be happy like this smiley. Thank you guys. Take care and bye bye.